Today we will be solving an equation using the order of operations. An easy way to remember the order of operations is to use the anagram, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," or PEMDAS. The letters in PEMDAS stand for parentheses or grouping symbols, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Multiply and divide are done in the same step, and add and subtract are done in the same step. This is the order in which we solve problems, the order of operations, in other words. First off, we have parentheses and grouping symbols. In the anagram, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," this stands for P. Now, as you can see, we have a parentheses, and inside said parentheses is 2 times 5 minus 4. Now, first off, we're going to do our multiplication, which I'll show you later, is another part of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Let's do the work. X squared doesn't change. Ma'am, please turn your phone off in class. Thank you. Inside our parentheses, 2 times 5 will end up equaling 10. My train of thought. 2 times 5 equals 10. We'll keep our minus 4 for now so I can show you all the algebra. Our squared stays, and our minus 20 stays. As does our 196.
Okay.
Next, inside the parentheses, we'll do the minus without doing anything else. This comes down, that goes down, and this, 10 minus 4 equals 6. Minus 20 equals 196. That's our parenthesis step. Next, in "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," we have exponents, which stands for the E. As you can see, we have 2 exponents. We'll save our exponent on the X, because we're not sure what that is yet. And we're going to solve this exponent. Everything else will go down just as it is. X squared, this 2, alright. Now our difference here is this 6 will be to the power of 2. Now remember, 6 squared equals 36. Anything squared is itself times itself, like 6 times 6. So we have 36 right here. And that's our exponent step. Our next step is to multiply and divide. In this step we'll be able to do both in any order that you wish. Sometimes it'll be easier to multiply first, and sometimes it'll be easier to divide first. We can do this because of the commutative property. It states that you can do multiplying and dividing out of order, like x times y equals y times x. It'll be the same thing. Like 3 times 6 equals 6 times 3. They're both 18. Now, let's do our multiplication step. Nothing's being multiplied here, and it's an x anyways, so we'll drop our x. And then here, we are going to have a difference, so we'll do that in blue. We have 2 times the quantity of 36. 2 times 36 equals 72. Then we'll bring back our minus 20 and our 196. And that's our multiplying and dividing step. Alright, next up we have addition and subtraction. They stand for the A and the S, and "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." This is the last step. We can do both of these on the same step because of the commutative property yet again. An example would be x plus y equals z. X plus y minus z equals y minus z plus x. You can rearrange these in any order and they'll be the same. Now, here we have a plus 72 and a minus 20. So, using simple second grade math, we can see after dropping our x squared and our 196, we can see that 72 minus 20 equals 52. And that's it for this step. Don't forget to go left to right. Alright, last, all we have to do is solve for x. Now, x is a variable, and remember that variables are just numbers. They take the place of a number. Like, for all we know, x could equal 4. Just anything random. Now, here, we want to get x alone. As you can see, there's a 52 with this x, and it's being added to the x. We want to do the opposite that this 52 is doing. So we'll subtract, and I'll write this in blue. We'll subtract 52 from both sides. If you do something to one side, you have to do it to the other side. Subtract 52. So here we'll get x squared plus 0 now equals 144. That's a 0 still. From here, we see 0 is not going to do anything here, so we can just get rid of it. X squared equals 144. Now, as you can see, there's a power of 2 over this x. And to get rid of that power, we have to do something to both sides again. We have to do with the opposite of what that power is doing, which is square rooting, or putting it in a radical. We'll do that. The square root of the quantity x squared equals the square root of the quantity 144. We did it to both sides, so they're still equal. After doing that math, we see that x equals 12. And that's how we solve a variable equation using the order of operations. Alright, we're going to solve one more equation for you, and I'm just going to do it on the board while I'll speak aloud about what I'm doing. I'm not going to explain it so thoroughly. Now first we have the square root of all this equals the square root of this. Now, square roots count as parentheses, or order symbols, in other words, whatever. So we'll do the things inside of them first, even though there's nothing outside of them. If there were, we would do the things in here first. Now, we'll do our parentheses first. We have 9 minus 9 and 1 plus 19. This equals 0, and this equals 20. Next we'll do multiplication. 3 times 0 equals 0, and 3 times 20 equals 60. Next we'll do addition. Of course, 12x plus 0 is 12x. Now since we have x by itself, we're going to solve for x. Both of these have a radical of them, so we'll square both sides in order to get rid of the radical. The quantity of both sides, that is. this equals 12x equals 60. Now, since we're multiplying by 12, we'll divide both sides by 12. And after doing that, we see that x equals 5. And that's a run through of the order of operations.